Are you able to introduce yourself in Egyptian Arabic for 30 seconds without stopping? My goal for the end of this video is that you'll be able to do that exactly with just a few reusable chunks. Now, I'll go ahead and do the full version of it right now so you could kind of hear how it sounds. Ahlan, أنا esmi Steven. Tasharrafna. أنا من أمريكا ودلوقتي أنا في Orange County. أنا بشتغل في التكنولوجيا وكمان أنا بتعلم عربي مصري عشان أتكلم أحسن. I would tell you this is the fast version, but no, I'm a learner too, so it's probably the pace that you're going to aim for to speak at. So with that getting said, let me go ahead and start explaining a few ground rules in terms of how we're going to build this out. Okay, so this is all going to be in Franco Arabic. You'll see the text. It'll make it a lot easier to see. I just want you guys to know that the 3 is like Arabi. It's the Ain. I'm very bad at pronouncing this sound. The 7 is the an Ahsan. It's the Ha versus He, Ha. So that's the 7. 2 is the Kaf. It's this kind of like quick stop. So you see it in Delwati. It's kind of like if you say uh-oh, uh-oh, there's that little stop in between. And yeah, that's just like a bit of how we're going to be talking. Everything is, as close as I know to speaking in more Egyptian Arabic. I think something like the nice to meet you is a bit more of the formal Arabic. There might be more, I guess, casual versions of it, but we just need to learn a few things and we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, so yes, the first thing that we're going to start with is going to be our name and nice to meet you. So that's the goal of like, right, you meet someone new, maybe you could say this as your introduction. You could say Ahlan, and esmi Steven, replace that with your name, Tasharrafna. And all that means is, hi, my name is Steven, nice to meet you. Now we'll do this a little slower. Ahlan, أنا اسمي ستيفن تشرفنا. So right with you just أنا اسمي your name and then tasharrafna, and you kind of got yourself a good little introduction when you meet someone new. Now try saying just the full line with me one more time. أهلا أنا اسمي ستيفن تشرفنا. One more time. Ahlan, أنا اسمي ستيفن تشرفنا. Now try pausing the video and doing this with your name 2 times. Okay, the next thing you want to go ahead and build is your origin. So I think it's really interesting. When you learn, you'll very often learn just أنا من, I'm from, and then the place, right? And I would say أنا من Orange County. But sometimes you kind of want to say like, I live here, right? Like there's a difference between where you're from and where you're living. So I think actually doing it this way might be pretty nice. So right, we have Ahlan, أنا اسمي ستيفن تشرفنا. أنا من أمريكا ودلوقتي أنا في Orange County. So that kind of puts together our little opening phrase, right? We kind of I guess, right, you could say like tasharrafna whenever it feels right, but you could say Ahlan, أنا اسمي ستيفن أنا من أمريكا ودلوقتي أنا في Orange County. So now I could say like I'm in Orange County is where I'm currently living. Or right, if you could say أنا من Los Angeles ودلوقتي أنا في Orange County. So right, if I used to live, or if I was from Los Angeles but live in Orange County now, it's a good way to do it. So right, as I said, we'll just start with the very basic pattern. أنا من, and then put your place. The second part, ودلوقتي أنا في, and then you put where you live. So if we do this a little slower, أنا من ودلوقتي أنا في. And then you just put it in. So let's go ahead and try that 2 times with me, where we say أنا من أمريكا ودلوقتي أنا في Orange County. أنا من أمريكا ودلوقتي أنا في Orange County. Now, go ahead and try to pause the video and do this yourself, going ahead and subbing in your name. And also try to just pull it all together, right? Say, Ahlan, esmi Steven, Tasharrafna, أنا من أمريكا ودلوقتي أنا في Orange County. So go ahead and try to fill that in for yourself. I want you guys to know I'm like Tasharrafna, something I learned recently. So I actually paused there. I was like, did I say that right? But yeah, go ahead and pause and go ahead. And then we'll go to the next block. So the next thing we're going to focus in on, it's like, what do you do, right? When you introduce yourself, you typically tell them your occupation, right? If you're a student or if you're working and you want to explain what it is that you're doing. So we're going to focus in on, right, I'll be speaking as to what I'm doing, right? And what I do is أنا بشتغل في التكنولوجيا, right? I work in technology. And if I were still a student at this time, I would say أنا بدرس هندسة. I'm studying engineering. So those are the two things that you're going to have to do a little bit of research on. I'll provide some examples right here. But if you're a student, right, okay, maybe you're not studying engineering. I think marketing is actually really easy. Marketing is just marketing. And if you're studying or if you're working right now, right, doctor, I think most of the things that you work in there are borrowed English words. They might have a few that are specific to the Egyptian Arabic, but a lot are borrowed words. So this might be actually a really easy one for you to go ahead and fill in. So I want us to real quick just start from the beginning again, right? Ahlan, أنا esmi Steven. Tasharrafna. أنا من أمريكا ودلوقتي أنا في Orange County. أنا بشتغل التكنولوجيا. Sorry, I pronounced that poorly. Or أنا بدرس هندسة. So now we're kind of getting a little closer, right? You're painting a little bit more of a picture of who you are, what you're doing, where you're from, kind of these basics introductions. And now we're going to move on to the next thing, which is just letting people know that you're currently learning Arabic. Now, the one thing I didn't tell you to do was pause the video. So at this moment, just pause the video and go ahead and practice what we just learned. Okay, now the last thing, right? We want people to know we're learning Arabic, so they treat us as if we're a learner. They don't throw out all these crazy words that you've never heard before. They say stay simpler, they speak slower. That's kind of the goal from this. So our last thing is just letting them know that, hey, like I'm learning Egyptian Arabic so I can speak better, right? So you're kind of inviting them to practice speaking with you. The toughest thing when you're a beginner is just that you invite that in, but like you can't, right? They ask you questions and then you just want to respond in English. And the goal is to just like try to use Arabic, right? Try to use it to the best you can for as long as you feel comfortable and then switch back to English. But this is a good starting point to get you there. So what we're going to learn to say is kaman أنا بتعلم عربي مصري عشان أتكلم أحسن, right? So بتعلم means learning. عشان because أتكلم is to speak, and then أحسن is better. So you're putting together the sentence, and this is a bit more of a complicated one. It's a little longer. But one more time. وكمان أنا بتعلم عربي مصري عشان أتكلم أحسن. So what I want you to do right now is go ahead and pause that video and go ahead and try this out yourself. Okay, guys, I'm super proud of us. You know, I'm not perfect at recording these videos, so some things may have been glossed over. I do want to state one more time, just go ahead and try to sound them out if you need to, right? وكمان أنا بتعلم عربي عشان عايز أتكلم أحسن. I don't even know if that was the right way of putting it, but that's what just came in my head. So yeah, just go ahead and try to practice this out. Try try to repeat it out loud. Like this is something I'm doing. I'm repeating this out loud multiple times. So yeah, with that, I'm just going to go ahead and put it all together one more time. And you should go ahead and try to do the same after. Ahlan, أنا esmi Steven. Tasharrafna. أنا من أمريكا ودلوقتي أنا في Orange County. أنا بشتغل في التكنولوجيا وكمان أنا بتعلم عربي مصري عشان أتكلم أحسن. And that's it, guys, right? That's a good old introduction, right? You might end up separating these things out in a conversation, right? Because if you start with your basic zayak or zayak and you say ana kwayas or tamem, alhamdulillah, you might not piece in all these things, but after that you could say tasharrafna, right? You could say nice to meet you. Right? If you're meeting someone new that you don't know where they're from, you could say like, you could just say Doleti NFE Orange County. You might not include where you're from, right? You could tell them what you do for work. And as this goes on, you can now be like, okay, people tend to talk in conversations about like, if I work in technology, they'd be like, oh, that's cool. Like, what do you actually do? And then I have to come up with exactly what it is that I do. And this is like, right, you kind of practice these scripts, but then you learn the words better. So I think this is kind of a good thing to do as a little bit of self practice, is just go ahead and practice these things out. And then, yeah, you'll be surprised at where you could get from here. I always want to emphasize I'm a learner. I'm not someone with some deep knowledge. All these things I'm telling you are things I'm like, oh, I should do this myself. So hopefully some of this resonates with you guys. Go ahead and drop any comments if you have thoughts or things that you're struggling with or what you want to learn more about. And yeah, I'm excited to just keep you guys along in this journey. Right, I've been doing this just to learn the language, and right, what's come out of it is me also building an app. So also stay tuned for that. Check out my website. I am looking for beta testers for that. So if you do have an interest and want to be part of the early launch, please check out the website and go ahead and submit your information there.